there's something that I want to mention. Honestly bothers me in a passionate way. And when I get like that, 10:10 a.m. on the timer, not on the timer, but the time right now, was many things that bothers me, but we're going to display one so far. The deep thinker, the free thinker, and why society banishes these type of individuals. Truth be told, when I was younger, probably around like 16, 17, even 19, I recognized one thing about myself is that I make individuals mad when I think free. I make individuals upset and I disrupt when I think free. And at one time, I felt like it was just only me based off the environment. Being around people in Benton Harbor, Michigan, born in Kalamazoo, Michigan, KZoo, back and forth, Benton Harbor, KZoo, up until 12. And after that, be mostly up in Benton Harbor. I learned a lot of people don't have patience, a lot of patience. And the deep thinking person, when I got older, around like 23, I started to see more variations. But being profound can appear to be too serious. Authenticity, people put a limit on. Or think they can put a lid on it. Unless it's approved by society, or this person getting money, or this person got the riches. It's about the shock value of the material. Here we go. Being profound, being a deep thinker, a lot of black sheep, outcasts, have found something that felt like gold, but when you share something outside of the mental capacity of someone that's just going through the rat race, the motions, labor, it's a shutdown. Oh yeah, this message ain't for the weak. This ain't for the weak. When you notice that as you get deeper into knowledge and knowing yourself, you can start to see where individuals are at in their same journey that might not have put in the exact, they don't even got to be exact amount of work, but just where their progress is. And I recognize that it's not the problem of the individual saying these deep things. It's about the comprehension on the other end of these things. Anything new or outside, the Bible, according to Christians is deemed as demonic, but the word demon means supernatural spirit. But also, you got with this word Satan. It comes from the mythology of Sut Typhon, Sut on Satan. Shut is the dark. Anything dark, they demonize. But we can have rituals as melanated beings as far as Thanksgiving and sage is in the dressing. But it's approved because we eating it, but it still goes through your body. It's the ignorance. I've been feeling this great divide, truth be told, spiritually. And the great divide, unbiasedly, is about individuals that are surrendering to their nature, to the new age of Aquarius, that are walking in their paths versus individuals that still want to be tied to the matrix. What's the matrix? So the matrix, as far as the material spectrum, is the video game world where you work, you go through the rat race on some Upton Sinclair shit with the jungle, 1984 Demiurge, which is basically deception, MK Ultra, to give you the false narratives of what exactly they call reality. Now, the matrix originally is the womb, the great womb, which the womb bearers, the people that hold the womb, are the womb man, the divine feminine. And the matrix is the yoni, the portal. Every woman has a portal, which is the vagina. And that portal is what creates life. Okay? There's a lot of facts up in here that's going to be displayed, so get your pen and paper out if you're interested. The deep thinker, the free thinker, it is very hard for them, unless if they were born with the tools and born in these well awake, principles since birth. When we go back to our blood and DNA or whatever, the blood and the DNA is the circuit center of how different gifts or different skills you were born with, and then later on you fine tune them after birth once you awaken. And I recognize that as I get more activated and go back to remembrance of these different things, that's when your life starts to take a toll of what they say in the Bible as trials, tribulations, different initiations, and test of time. A lot of times, deaths in the family or deaths in your lineage triggers different things. It's not I'm not saying it's a great thing that somebody transitioned, in your life or transition, whatever, but it's the fact of these things had to happen early to get your attention in some type of way, to awake different things. Trauma can unlock and awake a lot of different things. And trauma is not even just as far as something negative happened to you, something that hurt you, that triggered some things in your nervous system with your senses. We're talking about when you work out, you have to go through some chaos to build muscle. The muscle has to go through a process to build. What they do in the Army with combat boot camp, they have to break you down first, then build you up, because before you go up, you must go down. because everything starts at the root. So I grew up angry on why individuals didn't understand certain things that I understood that I was just trying to share. But this is the excitement of when you find knowledge and want to share different things. But then there's the molding and kneading of the bread in process. And a lot of people wanted to silence me. A lot of people just wanted me, don't talk about that, don't talk about this. But is it something that you know? Or is it something that you're afraid of? You know, whatever you was taught, cool. But I've been labeled as unopen-minded. And I study everything. It's the ones that's caged, right? I learned that as the black sheep, as the outcast, you really have the best advantage. What's that best advantage? That best advantage is you're not fearful to know the truth. You're not fearful to know the truth, but also you're not fearful to go through the fire. You're actually the one that's built. But let's talk about the others. Let's talk about the others real quick. The ones that are not. They're comfortable. And most of the time it's meant for them to just stay where they are because that's how far in their soul contract that they've observed. Some people are not even meant to awaken in their certain current lifetime. Next, because we always recycle back to the stardust. Not even gonna say recycle back, we regenerate back to the stardust. Let's go to a quick channel of a couple days ago, right? A couple days ago, I had a channel. Now, what's a channel? For the ones that don't know, there is a message that the antennas, my intuition triggered from a vast library of information that is not just something that you can find with books at the store, at the library, but you can also find these things inside of you based off memory in our Akashic Records. What's Akashic Records? Okay. Akashic Records is the library of information stored in your DNA, stored through years that later on you can retrieve from just the feeling, the thoughts, and then you can find the physical worldly evidence by finding in a book somewhere. Some, you don't even have to find books. Sometimes it could be a thought or something you feel familiar with that you felt like you've always been there. But they say deja vu. It's like, man, I feel like I've always been. It's deja vu. Like, wait a minute. Like, hold on. Like, I feel like I've been at this place forever. Or you have a guess. Like, for instance, one time I had a guess years back. Like, man, did the Egyptians or did the Greeks steal from the Egyptians? And all of a sudden, I had this curiosity and I looked on Google and boom. It was a book called Stolen Legacy by George James. And boom. So our plasma in our brain, not in our brain, but our plasma and the antenna in our brain and the plasma in our body is electric. So we radiating off a lot of shit. Okay? All right. So with that channel, this is what I got. When they say, oh yeah, hopefully one day we go to heaven. Heaven is the solar system. Heaven is the galaxy. Heaven is a higher state of mind. You can break it down from a biblical, you can break it down from so many variations in so many ways. For instance, the physical, heaven is a higher state of mind. Heaven means head. Okay. Heaven is going up. Would they say 9 heavens, 9 layers of heavens? So there's different realms, positions, steps that you can go to of awareness, but also in physicality to where there's no more physical. The sky, okay, that's a layer of heaven. Then you have the stars, that's a layer of heaven. Then another layer past the earth. Then another layer like, it's so vast. And what's in heaven? Stars. Okay. What's in heaven? The planets. Okay. What's in heaven? Plasma. The different membranes. What's also in heaven? You got the Milky Way. You have the whole solar system plus other different galaxies that's still, and that's going to be more discovered because, every time you get new technology, which they really been had the technology, if you catch my drift, then there's more new things that they find out. But when they say, oh, we found this new thing, they've been discovered that shit. They were just waiting to put out the files to give confirmation. They've been new this shit. Before they give the information out, for the ones that don't know, they already discovered that they just running a test on it and trying to see if find a way to monetize it or to make it plain to the masses without scaring or people, going in chaos, because once you find independence, you're a threat. The channel was this so-called, whether you go in heaven or hell, you automatically go into the heavens because we are made out of the stars. The plasma that's up in the galaxy, the universe, which is everything combined in the whole of the cosmic egg, the firmament. What's the firmament? The incubator. We all have a job. It's like we all just one fucking cell with all the different compartments and systems that make everything move. Everything is a vibration of rhythm. So it don't matter whether you're a Christian, it don't matter whether you're a Sufi, it don't matter what is. We all go back to the natural soil, to ash does the dust. We all regenerate. We all have a job. Coming from the stars, then going back. And with me being carbon-based, what's carbon? Let's get to it. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Okay, that's carbon. We were made of this soil, carbonated beings, the ones that know. And the melanin is the DNA, which has these skills and properties of what people say is gifts of clairvoyance, past memories, skills, healing properties, that when the sun gives off that radiation, there's healing. There's all types of beautiful things that when we get in tune with our melanin, these hold supernatural powers that was dwindled down. The type of skills, the type of memories, we have all been altered based off what they say, the principalities, the higher powers that came to destroy. And let this be known, I am not an atheist, okay? I'm an individual that goes around and studies everything and have shown and have seen the evidence that every doctrine, or so-called every path, has the same things decoded in different ways to explain the same thing. Whether it be the existence of God, whether it be the existence of, why the planets work. And with being a mystic, what's a mystic? A mystic is a person that studies higher knowledge and shares. The mystic goes through the ancient mysteries. Mysteries are the things that are hidden. Mysteries are things that are hidden that you're learning to achieve a higher state of mind, but you're also sharing these things. Mystery, let's go back. When you learn mysteries, you learn the rites. What are the rites? The magic rites of passage, rituals. What are the rituals? Are there different routines of how you get something moving with energy, celebration, initiation to go to the next level, skills and education to go higher within yourself, to know who you are, your knowledge. So everybody want to get caught up in label bullshit, right? And this is the thing about it. When you're studying this type of knowledge and seeking, there's a thing that I've witnessed. I'm just going to say me. I witnessed that caused so much freedom and sovereignty to know that culture is fucking culture. Now, here we go with the word cult, right? So everybody want to talk about, this culty and shit, like this different things is culty. Okay. Well, your church is a cult, okay? Different Rotary clubs are cults. Different lodges are cults. A cult is a group for a specific purpose. But also we got culture, which there's different customs, traditions, ways of life, different studying, lores, how food is made. When they say tradition, that's the same thing. Heritage. But it's the old cult that people are scared about. For instance, your church, they come together, it's public. They do the rituals, they do the praise and the worship. They are licensed under the 501c3, which is nonprofit. So they have to account for every dollar and they can eat off that. But they have to be controlled by the rubric of the Pope. What's the rubric of the Pope? It's that certain scriptures you can't talk about because it will cause people to go study for themselves, be independent, and now they ain't no need for no church. So I'm saying this to say here is that to all my deep thinkers, to all the people that are seeking, there's nothing wrong with you. I thought it was something, but that was because I was around people that are partiers. I was around people that, I was trying to not just be this sponge of information, but because when you grow into this knowledge, you can build a savior complex. Talk about a moment of transparency. Let's discuss it. I just seen 24:42 on the timer. That's mirror flip. Integrity. When you finally get away from people pleasing, you recognize what you wasted your breath on in the past, and what more you need to talk about. The liberation and freedom that I had, that I wanted to share other individuals, actually prepped me for this day. Listen to this. How much it bothered me about what we're talking about today actually liberated me, because following in the footsteps of other similar like minds that didn't find anyone even close, and they're still pushing the message to people that's not listening, that's practice. But also the accountability of now going through this type of turmoil, what you gonna do with this energy? It takes a lot of courage and strength for individuals in this exact path that I'm on right now. It's a test of strong will. It's a test of, one, are you gonna get your birthright versus everybody else getting theirs that don't even give a fuck? One of the teachers who actually, the teacher that actually, my favorite teacher that got me higher in this shit, Bobby Hemmett, Sagittarius, Ophiuchus. And when I knew, why does she keep happening to me? Why do I keep seeking this knowledge and I don't find anybody else that's interested that I can share this with or that I can learn this with? I had to learn later on that it's my birthright. But there's other people that have these birthrights too. But are you gonna stand for something and still push on and tell your story, that after you tell your story, you'll finally meet individuals in this same complexity? In this same complexity that I felt like there was just only one island in this society. It's based off your frame of reference. I was the only nigga up in the library up in Benton Harbor that was my age that I seen, but didn't know I had access to all of this free game. I encourage all my deep thinkers today. I encourage all my real niggas today. I encourage all my mystics that's still in different stages of the adept. It's time for us to come out. And who can't get with it, fuck it. Who can't get with it, fuck it. And I don't give a fuck about no views. I don't give a fuck about, who cheer for me and all that. But my thing is that I give a fuck about the adepts. I give a fuck about the mystics. I give a fuck about the people. And let's just say, forget just the mystic part. I give a fuck about the people that want to know versus believe. The etymology of the word science means to know. Believe got the word lie in it. Self-preservation. Don't hold yourselves back for wanting to be liked. That shit's over. It is the end of an era and beginning of a new era. 10-10. Super Shaman out.